XPs. They're aluminum, just like the J Pros. The difference in the XPs versus all the other S19 aluminum boards is that these have voltage levelers, I think they're called. So level shifter boards. These are common.
So all these are aluminum and all these have the same model number as opposed to the J Pros?
I think, yeah. There may be 2 different models in the XP. That's what it is. No, I think they're all 56801. So
That's the chips?
that's the model number of the hash board.
Oh, okay. Oh, the chips are 1366, right? Is that
Yes.
Okay. 56801.
And these have no pick chip, no MOSFETs. So if one goes down, they all go down. Unless it's aftermarket firmware.
So if you say one goes down, they all go down, does that mean that if one of those goes bad and you run a diagnostic on it, it will come up with zeros or it won't come up at all?
Yeah, it won't hash on any of the boards if one is
so
bad.
Hash rate will be 0, is that
Yeah.
the idea? But it'll still come up, but it'll just be hash rate 0.
Right. And then you'll go into the log and it'll tell you, it will still say, your other boards are good, but this one has this many AC.
So it'll say like chain 1, like 0A6.
Yes.
Okay. But
Oh,
the other 2 will be working.
It'll tell you which chip?
Board?
If there's a single
Yes.
chip?
It will. Unless it's a 0 ASIC, which normally indicates to something is desoldered, I would say it's more common for something to be desoldered or a different component other than an ASIC chip to fail. An ASIC chip, the only way that it's really going to fail is if it gets too much heat and gets heat stress. And you can notice that just by looking at it, like it'll either be cracked or it'll be discolored, like a pinkish color.
So out of 110 of those chips, you're not likely that any one of those is going to go bad? Is that what you're saying?
I would say yeah, it's less likely that an actual ASIC chip's going to go bad versus another component. So with your XPs, the most common failure are your level shifter boards, and they become desoldered or corroded. There's also a common problem with the boost circuit failing. So like a voltage regulator and usually those are, like you can visually see that those are messed up.
Would you say those things on the left are called again?
These are level shifter boards. So with your domains on the XP board, you have 10 chips in one domain. And they're controlled, the voltage is controlled by these little level shifter boards. So 11 domains, 110 chips, and there's 10 chip in each domain, and it serpentines as well like that.
And is this also last 7 is separate?
I don't believe so. I believe the boost circuit powers the whole. Yeah, I think the boost circuit sends the power to the level shifters on all the domains on this. I could be wrong, but that's what I think, because I don't really like looking at it. I don't see actually. The only thing I do see different is this right here, which could power like the last 2, because those look like MOSFETs. But yeah, that's something we'll have to look into. We can find out together for sure. So you've got your LDOs, which are powered by these. And yeah, that goes for the boost circuit. So
this is all done to the boost. Okay.
yeah. Right. Common issues, which we've kind of discussed as we've been going through this. Power supply issues, which you want to check your connectors. And of course, if you visually see it, no power. On these machines, you have different power supply versions. So you have A through F. Yeah, and it's APW 12, 15, A through F.
And is this just for the XPs or
This
all
is
S19s?
all S19s.
Okay. And I'm sorry, could you repeat that for me one more time? You said A through F? What was
And
it?
it's APW 12, 12, 15, A through F. So some models are version specific to the power supply. If you have the wrong version of power supply on there, it will throw an error code and it will say, I think there's that same get version type failed.
Yeah. Power type version failed.
Yeah.
Power type version failed.
So what I've learned is that versions F and C are mostly universal. I know the F won't go on the XP, but the C will.
What was the universal?
Is it B? Is
No, it's a B also.
B, okay.
B.
So it would, yeah,
Universals are what? F and what?
F and B,
B?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
The Fs will need a firmware for your older versions before 2022.
Okay, good to know. I know control board, like the control boards in these, the Xilinx won't work with F unless you have a firmware.
Yeah.
So there's different control board types, especially for the J Pro. You have AML, which I wish I would have brought some. I'll have to get pictures of the differences. The AML and the Xilinx and Beagle Bones. So with J Pro models, there are 3 different types of control boards that will work in those. Other models like the S19 Pro, it will only use a Xilinx control board. We'll show you all the difference between all of them, and some of them are interchangeable within the J Pro model, but some of them, you know. XP, it can use the AML control board, or M-Logic is the name of it, or a CV. I know all this doesn't make sense right now, but it will, I promise.
It will.
It'll all come together, and you'll be like, oh!
That's usually how it happens in Bitcoin.
Yeah,
you take in
exactly.
stuff you don't know what the hell. Like, what am I listening? Then you do it. You're like, oh. It's like a big download after a while.
Yeah. Okay, so chip failures, mainly your ASIC failures are going to come from heat stress. There's not really any other reason other than that, unless, you know, the board's fallen on the floor or something and the chips got cracked. There's no other reason that the ASIC should just stop working, unless it's just become desoldered over time. And I mean, that is common with Bitmain products because they use cheap solder when the product's being put together. Yeah. Y'all got any questions? We're gonna go over some trace. I don't know what I said. I don't know, guys.
Domain, tracing some domains.
I just work here.